yeah, it's weekly recap. We got 14 games to do. It's gonna be a long video. So I'd say grab a drink, grab a snack, maybe sit back and relax. I got all the highlights. I got everything for 14 games. I got Sunday night. There were some really good games. There were some really bad games. There were some really shockers. Either way, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy this NFL kickoff recap. Yeah, and of course we got a Thursday game. All that. NFL's back. Let's go.
Throws on the run back in the end zone. Caught. Hopkins to be getting back.
In his debut and what you thought and what you saw in the way he handled that game?
I'll leave that to Coach Belichick.
Just along the same lines for a rookie. I mean, he's 29 of 39, and he stood in the pocket, took some hits. What do you think of his toughness out there, just taking some of those hits and stuff?
Yeah, I played tough.
When you play backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, whether it's with Brett Favre as the starter or Aaron Rodgers, you don't get a lot of work. And so Jordan Love, the Packers traded up for to get.
Okay, what's going on, guys? For the first one, of course, we're going to go with the Colts Seahawks game. This game wasn't a bad game. It was probably what I expected. I definitely expected Russell Wilson to ball out against a defense that really had no one. I have to admit that. Take deep shots to DK and Tyler Lockett. They took deep shots to Tyler Lockett because, no offense to DK, but he didn't really get open because they were triple teaming. Yeah, Russ threw 4 touchdowns. They let him cook. And they ran the ball 15 plus times. They ran the ball good. Russ didn't throw it that much. Like, Russ didn't throw it 40 times, but it wasn't like he had to because their defense was playing so well and they ran the ball so well too. Like Chris Carson, 16 for 91, great game. They even had Dwayne Haskins have a couple carries. Like, I really liked how they played. Russell Wilson escaped some sacks. Their offensive line didn't really protect him, but that didn't really matter because they were leading the whole game. And more importantly, Gerald Everett and Will Dissly, they both got their catches. Gerald Everett, it was probably the best throw I've seen Russ make in a while. And for that reason, yeah, it was good. Gerald Everett had a really nice touchdown because Russell Wilson didn't use it to look to the end zone like he did sometimes last year. And then for the Seahawks defense, they played very well. I have to admit that. They gave up a touchdown, but that was about it. Jordan Brooks might have had the best game I've ever seen out of him. They did have Jamal Adams in the box a lot. Where's Jamal Adams? Did he even play? Yeah. Jamal Adams was in the box a lot. He didn't make many tackles because they did make sure he wasn't getting pressure Wentz. They didn't really pressure him great in the first half. Second half, they started to because Julian Davenport really did start to reflect him. And yeah, they made him throw short, and that really hurt them. And yeah, the Widers, they didn't get a turnover off Wentz because he actually played really well. Speaking of Wentz, so if I have to, for the Seahawks, I'm gonna give them a plus. So we have a plus, a minus, and then in the middle we have it's a plus, minus, and then there's a just like a line in the middle. There's an underscore for the middle. Either way, defensively, I'm gonna give them an underscore because it's hard to get anything above that. Colts offense, the Colts were down a lot. So they did run the ball with Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines. They didn't get any carries to Marlon Mack. Jonathan Taylor actually got their most catches because they didn't really do much with that. Jack Pascal wasn't involved in the passing game. Paris Campbell had one deep shot. They had a couple deep shots to him. He actually had one catch. Michael Pittman Jr. same thing. He had a couple good catches. Yeah, I'm gonna give him like a underscore here. They didn't play bad, but they didn't play great. Wentz actually had a really good game for what he was given, so I liked how they played. And then for the Colts defense, always play two high safeties. Kwity Paye, Alquan Mohamed. No offense, they didn't really get the job done. I get they were gonna struggle, but like Darius Leonard, here Wills actually had a sack, but Darius Leonard didn't have a great game. He didn't play bad. Alquan Mohamed got to the quarterback a couple times. Kwity Paye, he didn't really do much at all. 5 minutes, that didn't do a ton. DeForest Buckner didn't get to the he got to the quarterback. I'm not surprised, but still, like there were some bad plays, but they really actually didn't play that bad. But I gotta give them a minus. They just didn't play well enough. If they didn't give up a couple of those deep touchdowns, maybe they would have. But I gotta give them a minus. They did not get the job done in the pass game, and they didn't really stop the run either. So their defense just didn't play well. 28-16 was your final. It was a really good game, but can't really give them anything else when they didn't play great. Texans, Jags. This game was a dog. That's what I'll just put it that way. Not a good game. So the final score was 21-37. Trevor threw for 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, 332 yards. He threw the ball 51 times. No offense. Yeah, don't do that. They're going to get a minus. Their offense, it didn't play bad because they did put up points, but Trevor threw it way too much. He made some bad throws, mainly one, but he didn't have a great game. Neither did any of the other guys. They only gave James Robinson 5 carries. That's why they're getting the minus. They had to give him at least 20 times. Yeah, I guess he had some targets. He didn't really catch the ball at all. He only caught the ball 3 times. He had like 5 targets. But Chris Manhurts, TJ Chark, and Marvin Jones both had decent games, but still, they just didn't get the job done. Jags defense, they're getting a minus 2. They played awful. You gotta be able to give up less than 37 points to Texans. Like you might not have the greatest defense, but it has to be better. And then for the Texans, we'll go right to them. Tyrod Taylor, hats off to you. That might have been your best career game. One of them, at least. Final score is 37-21, just so you guys know. They're getting a plus. It's pretty simple. Tyrod Taylor had a great game. They ran the ball pretty darn well. They took the shots to Brandon Cooks. Danny Amendola got open. David Johnson got open. Defensively, okay, let's just say defensively, I'm not going to give them a plus because they didn't really play great. They did stack the box a lot, and they got so much pressure on Trevor. And they basically just stopped the run, too. Because they didn't really run the ball. That's what happened. I'm going to give them a underscore because I didn't really see them do any. Like, they had a couple really nice picks, but they didn't. I was like, if they force turnovers, they have a chance. But I'm gonna give them. I can't give them the plus. Like they didn't play well enough where I'm like they get the plus. I think if they blew out, they didn't. It was a pretty much a blowout. It wasn't a full-on blowout, but if it was a full-on blowout, yeah, it would. They would get the plus. But so next game, Eagles Falcons. The Eagles. Jalen Hurts had a phenomenal game. 27 of 35, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like I said, get the 2 tight ends, Miles Sanders involved, and same thing. Devontae Smith 10 plus times, bam! He got 10. He actually didn't get 10 targets, but because they actually spread the ball around with Jalen Reagor too, I'm gonna give him the plus anyway. Miles Sanders was pretty efficient on the ground. Jalen Hurts ran the ball really well. Kenneth Gainwell had a nice touchdown. They actually spread the ball around, which is something I probably should have mentioned, but I didn't really want to mention it because I didn't know how they were gonna do that. Either way, defensively they didn't play great. No, I'm joking. They played phenomenal. Play the line of scrimmage. Don't let Calvin really make play best. Triple Kyle Pitts. They did that. I gotta give them the plus. That might have been the best defensive game they played probably in a while. Falcons. They didn't get the job done. They couldn't run the ball. Like Cordero Patterson is their best runner. Mike Davis couldn't do nothing the whole game. Matt Ryan 21 of 35, 164 yards. He could not throw the ball really to anyone. They tried throwing the ball, then they tried running it. Didn't work either time. They had a lot of 3 and outs. They didn't really have any turnovers. They actually had a fumble, but I'm giving them a minus. They played really bad. And then defensively, yeah, their defense, I gotta give them another minus. It was just a straight up stinker. I have to admit that. But they had no one who really even tried to make a play. They had 1 sack the whole game. Jacob Turner, who actually had a really nice sack. Other than him, he actually had a really good game. They stunk it up. Simple as that. Next game, Washington, your final score is Eagles 32, Falcons 6. 2016 Washington. These 2 teams, they didn't play bad games. Taylor Heineke went in there and made it a good game. Nothing more you can ask for. But for the Chargers offense, move the ball through Austin Eckler. Bam, he got 15 carries for 57 yards. Yeah, they're playing Washington. You shouldn't expect much. And he also, where is Austin Eckler? Did he even get a catch? He didn't get a catch. Are you kidding me? Whatever. He got some targets. They stopped it. He literally didn't get any catches. Whatever. I'm gonna give him run screens, designs, checkdowns, and then short passes, and then they took some shots to Mike Williams. I'm gonna give him a underscore. They don't get a minus. They didn't play great, honestly. They got the ball to Austin Eckler on the ground. They didn't really get it through him to the air, but they did get the ball to Keenan Allen a lot, so they're gonna get that makes up for it. But Mike Williams, the shots, they wasn't on play action, so that does hurt. Mike Williams had a nice touchdown. Jared Cook had a couple good catches. I have to admit they played decent. Defensively, yeah, they took advantage of the Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick pressure Fitzpatrick. They did pressure him, and they had dime looks on 3rd down. They did that too. Play the run over the pass. They didn't really do that much because they actually were able to run it pretty well. I'm gonna give them an underscore. Like 20 points is not bad. 16 points is very good. Yeah, keep in mind it's a backup quarterback. It probably shouldn't have been that close, but who the heck cares? Taylor Heineke on offense, yeah, run the ball at least 20 times. They did it right on the top, on the dot. Target Terry McLaurin. They did it pretty good. Like I wouldn't say they did it great. 10 times. They didn't do 10 times. I can't they're not gonna be able to get all these, but I have to admit, J.D. McKissick on some carries, he only got 1 carry, and they probably should have gave it to more. Peyton Barber didn't get any carries in the red zone because they were rarely in the red zone at all. And then they did take some deep shots, but Taylor Heineke didn't really do much. They took 1 deep shot the whole game. I'm gonna give them an underscore. They didn't play bad, but they didn't play great. Washington defense, man, they played well, but not good enough. Simple as that. William Jackson had the best game of his career, I have to admit. He shut down Keenan Allen when he was on him. That was rare because they didn't really do that. Jonathan Allen was good. Chase Young wasn't so good. He kind of got manhandled a couple times. They didn't set the edge well. The D-line played amazing, and they didn't play man press. I'm going to give them another score because they did give their team a chance to win the game, but they just didn't play as well as they probably could have. 2016 was fine. It was a really good game. Neither team played bad, but you expect them to play, some teams to play better. But yeah. Okay. Steelers, Bills. This was an upset. Yes, it was. It was a big upset. Wasn't a big upset, but I'd say an upset like another game. Not as big as another game's upset, but still an upset. So, Steelers, Big Ben. Like I said, what were they supposed to do? Najee Harris 20 carries, 30 times. Najee, I gotta give it to him. He got touches, really mostly that. So I gotta give him. I'm gonna give him the check for Najee Harris. He didn't have a great game on the ground because they really stopped him. That was it. The trio, they got a lot of these pass catches. So they had so many incompletions though. Like, I'm not kidding. There was like, it was 30 times is a lot, but like 26 for targets. They didn't catch the ball well. I gotta admit that. Their offense didn't play well really at all. They just didn't turn the ball over. So I'm gonna give them a good old-fashioned underscore because they just didn't play great. Do I really not even have to talk about the Steelers defense? They get a plus. They just stopped the best offense in the league. I don't even need to talk about their defense. They just didn't really give up anything. TJ Watt played like TJ Watt. Cameron Hayward had a really nice sack. Their defense played really well. Simple as that. It doesn't even matter. They played good enough. I don't care about any of the keys to the game for that. Josh Allen, throw it over 40 times. He did do that, but it didn't really amount to much because Stephon Diggs got 10 plus. He only actually got 10, but I'm gonna give him a underscore. They didn't play bad. They just didn't play good enough, and didn't help that they were playing a defense that probably might have had their best game of the season. Bills' offense got to be better. Their defense, got to give it to them. They played very well. I got to give them another underscore. They didn't get the job done when it needed to be done. If they did that, they would have gotten a plus, and the Bills would have won the game. So basically, for the Bills and the Steelers, they both played turnover-free football, but the Steelers just played a little better defense. That was it. And yeah, Bills fans, don't be worried. You're gonna be fine. You guys could win 11 games in a row. I'm not kidding. So yeah. Next game, not so pretty. Lions, 49ers. 49ers. Like I said, run the ball with and then throw it to Ayuk and Samuel at least 10 times. Target Kittle 15 times. Well, they did get the ball to Deebo Samuel. They got the ball no times to Ayuk. So I'm gonna give him a pass there. George Kittle played awesome. They did what they needed in the receiving game. I said I'll just tell you that. They ran the ball better than I expected them to. I'm joking. They're getting a plus. Like, even if they didn't get the ball to Ayuk, which they have to next week because they're playing the Eagles, I'm joking. But either way, when they have to play the teams, if the Packers show up, whatever, talk about that later. They have a really easy schedule to start the season before they play the Seahawks. If they're not able to, if they play the Rams, they're gonna have to get the ball to Ayuk because there's no way they're gonna be able just to rely on those two guys. Defensively, disregarding the third quarter, they got a plus, but I have to give them an underscore because they almost blew the game. You're supposed to be good. What the heck happened? Yeah, they did double Hawkinson. He still had a ton of catches. They did bring pressure. Didn't amount to much. But they didn't stop the run either. They didn't have a great game defensively in the fourth quarter. It looked really bad. They gave up like 20 points. That's just not acceptable. Jared Goff, not going to lie, they actually didn't play that bad. Don't turn the ball over. They turned the ball over like 5 times. And throw the ball and run the ball with DeAndre Swift. They kind of did that. He didn't really amount to much, but I'll give him a good old underscore. They didn't play bad. Hawkinson got his catches too. Defensively, they get a good old-fashioned minus. They sucked. Yeah, I don't really need to talk about that. They didn't get the job done. 41-33 was your final. Dan Campbell, hats off to you. You almost came back with that game. Next game, I want to say it was definitely the best game of the week, and it wasn't really even close. Vikings-Bengals. The Bengals should have lost this game pretty easily. They should definitely not have won this game. Here's the thing. The Vikings had a couple bad turnover fumbles, and they also had just straight-up terrible discipline. They got a ton of penalties. Vikings clean that up, and you could win that division. Either way, Vikings offense hand the ball 25 times to Dominic Moore. Well, they got touches to him. Check. Kirk Cousins throw the ball. Yeah, check. JJ and Thielen both. Bam. And they did get a ton of targets to him in the red zone. Don't let Jesse Bates make that play. Big plays. I'm going to give him a underscore because Jesse Bates did make some plays. They did have a good game on offense. They just didn't put it up enough points, and they really didn't do good in the red zone. Defensively, they didn't play well. They didn't play bad, but I'm not going to give them, a bad grade because they did get a ton of pressure. They got, 5 sacks, and they actually didn't play that bad. It's just they weren't very disciplined, and, they played well enough where I'm they didn't stink, but they just didn't play good. Neither did the Burrow and the Bengals offense. Like, run the ball. Joe Mixon got his carries. They checked that off. And don't be afraid to challenge corners. They didn't really challenge the corners really at all. But mainly because they just ran the ball and it worked. And yeah, defensively, slow down Dalvin Cook. They didn't do that, but I'm gonna give them the underscore because they did contain that offense. The offense for the Vikings didn't have a great game, and for that reason, they won the game. So they shouldn't have won the game, but I'm giving them 2 underscores. They didn't play a great game, but they still won. So that's what good teams are like. Jets, Panthers. Not saying Bengals are a good team, just for other Bengals fans. Jets offense. Jets lost 14-19. Zach Wilson played very, what is it like? He just rolled out of the pocket too much and threw it way too much, too. Oh, yeah. Don't let Zach Wilson throw the ball over 30 times. He did that, and they threw a bad pick. Run the ball to the left of all of, with the 3 running backs. Yeah, Elijah Moore, 10 touches. He did get 10 touches, but Elijah Moore had 1 catch for -3 yards. They didn't really get the ball to him. It didn't really work out, so yeah. Run the ball to the trio. They did that pretty well, honestly. Like, no, I'm joking. They sucked in the run game. They did get into the trios, but it sucked. They couldn't run the ball the game. Whole game. Defensively, meh. Offensively, I'm giving them a minus because they sucked. They didn't play a good game offensively. Like, Corey Davis had a good game, but he didn't even really get that open. One of the touchdowns was just Zach Wilson being Zach Wilson. Jets defense. You're getting underscore. You got a ton of pressure on Darnold, and he didn't really have a great game after the first half. And they didn't slow down CMC, but gotta admit you didn't play that as bad as you could have. You held them to 19 points. Panthers offense get CMC 20 touches. They definitely got him 20 touches. Chuba Hubbard 5 carries. They didn't get him 5 carries, so that's a minus. Target Terrace Marshall. He got his catches. Robbie and DJ did shots, and then Darnold got easy throws most of the game, and he played good. I got to give him an underscore, though, because they didn't score enough points. That should have been a bigger game. Jets defense. Carolina defense. They're getting a plus. They absolutely terrorized Zach Wilson. They had 5 sacks. They played well. Garrett, and they stopped the run. Like, they didn't play amazing where I'm like, but they get a plus because they played a much above average. Cardinals, Titans. This is another shocker. Cardinals offense, I don't really even need to talk. Like, they did what they were supposed to do. They simply did not give up, and they just kept pounding. Cardinals defense, they get a plus. This is the best game the Cardinals I've ever seen Cliff Kingsbury execute again. It's just 2 minuses for when you lose 38-13. I don't care how you play. Kyler had 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That was a really dumb pass by him. 21 for 32. They could run the ball pretty well, too. It wasn't like they couldn't run the ball. They just didn't really run it at all. Both Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins balled out. Same with Rondell Moore. Watch him. You can't give an excuse when you're supposed to be one of the best offensive in the league. Like, Ryan Tannehill threw the ball 35 times. Derrick Henry only got 17 carries. It's simple. They shut down their offense somehow, some way. No excuse for you Titans. You had a stinker of a game. Your defense just didn't play well. And for that reason, I gotta say, you had a stinker. Next game, Browns-Chiefs. I get the Browns kind of blew it, but man, they probably should have won that game. Browns offense, Baker, he had a phenomenal game. The interception, he was trying to throw it away. He just got tugged down. I don't think he knew he was getting tugged down. For that reason, it was a pick. 21 of 28, 321 yards. Baker had a good game. Run the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem 30 times. I'd say they did, but they didn't really do that much because they actually had some big plays. But I'm going to give him the check there. Beckham didn't play. Jarvis actually did get a couple targets. He just didn't have that many catches. And then they did manhandle the Chiefs. I got to give them an underscore. They just didn't get the job done when they needed to. That's why they're there. But they manhandled the Chiefs' offensive line. Browns defense did a good job in the first half, not so much in the second half. I'm gonna give you actually an underscore. 33 points isn't bad. Like your offense can score with them. You did decent. Just second half, fourth quarter and the late third quarter just didn't play good enough. Chiefs offense, you got a plus. Took some big shots. You did your job. You scored when you needed to. Nothing much more to say. As for their defense, I'm not letting it slide. I can't give them a minus because they didn't give up 40 points, but they just didn't play well. I have to admit, their defense just got a boost at the end. I still got to give them the underscore because they didn't look good. They just didn't look good. Packers, Saints. I'm just gonna talk about this really, really quick. Aaron Rodgers was absolute dog crap. He 15 of 20, 130 yards, 2 interceptions. He didn't even try. Jordan Love actually played decent. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't receive the ball. Devontae Adams, given what they were doing to him, it wasn't a bad game. Defensively, they didn't get the job done. Saints, great job. When Jameis throws for 148 yards and 5 touchdowns, I'm saying he did the job. Oh yeah, if you care about the Packers, they suck. That's the worst game I've seen out of the Packers. Oh, it's been honestly maybe since 2017 with Brett Hundley. Good job. Like 2018 was bad. There's some bad games there, but I haven't seen worse. So simply, Packers, you sucked. Am I worried? No, because it's Packers. If the Packers play like that again, week 2, week 3 even, maybe. Either way, next game, Dolphins, Patriots. Dolphins, you had a good game. Like, you probably should have scored more points. I'm gonna give you the underscore though. Tua had a good game, 16 for 27, 202 yards, a touchdown pick. He did have a bad pick, 17-16 in your final. They couldn't really run the ball as good as they probably wanted to. Tua threw a bad pick, but Jalen Waddle had a nice touchdown. They threw the ball pretty well. Defensively, I'm giving you a check because they were going to be able to move the ball against you. Like, you just have to accept that because they have a really good run game. They actually played really well. Like, they didn't get a turnover, but they did play a really good campaign. They came up in the end with a couple of really good strip fumbles. Dolphins, you didn't get the job done in offense, but it did help on defense. So, yeah. Patriots offense, I'm going to give them an underscore. Matt played pretty darn well, 29 of 38, 281 yards, touchdown. Tom Brady-esque game. Just didn't get the job done when he needed to. Patriots defense, I'm going to give you another underscore. You played pretty well. Nothing, like, amazing, but you played pretty well. Simple as that. Now we go to the last game for today. I was like on an adrenaline rush watching this game. Andy Dalton, 27 of 38, 206 yards, interception. Rams won 34-14. They absolutely blew them out. This should not have been the final score. They should have honestly only given up 7 points, but whatever. Justin Fields, 2 of 210 yards. They could run the ball pretty well. I gotta admit it. They ran the ball well with David Montgomery. That guy, he's my pick for he's definitely in the Pro Bowl team. I want him to do well. He's a really, really talented player. He's one of the he could be a top 10 running back in the league. Really good player. Either way, yeah, the Bears they put up 14 points, but I gotta give them the minus. They ran the ball actually pretty well, but at times he just got David Montgomery got crushed. He had a couple of huge carries, but that was about it. Receiving, Marquise Goodwin had a good game. Allen Robinson was shut down by Jalen Ramsey. Defensively, minus. I don't want to give them the minus, but they deserve it. They didn't force a turnover. They got dominated. They did have some good stops, but they just gave up at the end. The Rams they were too good. Matt Stafford, he was basically perfect. 20 of 26, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns. They're getting a plus. They could run the ball well. It looked like 2018 Rams on steroids. Yeah, it was a juggernaut. Cooper Kupp, he's my favorite guy. If anyone doesn't know that by now, 7 for 181 touchdown. Same with Van Jefferson. He had a good game, 2 for 80 touchdown. Robert Woods actually had a decent game for what they gave him, 3 for 27 touchdown. Yeah, and then the Rams defense gets a plus too. They gave up 14 points. They didn't stop the run, but man, they got a couple really big turnovers. Aaron Donald had a sack. He got double teamed every play. David Long had a nice pick. The Rams defense, if they played like they do tonight, and they actually, they just weren't consistent in the run game. If they're able to do it against a team like the Colts, and they're actually able to just, I think it's week 1 too, but if they're able to do that, man, that defense could just be, their defense could be better than their offense this year, but their offense, whew. Yeah, we got the Ravens, Raiders. I'll recap that for you guys tomorrow. Either like, subscribe, hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah. That was the week NFL Kickoff recap. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah. See ya. I gotta go, so yeah, bye.